This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
A podcast since she never got her due. She's a big lesbian and a loudmouth Jew. With a gasket always ready to blow, you're listening to Judy's show. Who? Judy show. Wait a minute, who are you talking about? Oh, she's an asshole. What is wrong with you? Oh, you suck. So long. Fuck off. Hey everyone, welcome to It's Judy Show with Judy Gold. I'm your host, Judy Gold. And today we have part one of my conversation with Jen Kober, who is a member of my LGBTQ community and a Jew. Oh my God. So, we had an interesting conversation about, about life, about being comedians, and about, what the election means for the LGBTQIA plus community, which is, I just feel like, well, before I go off, but I do feel like the constant, this just picking on the trans people. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Whatever. Masha Gessen wrote a really interesting op-ed yesterday in the New York Times, which I'm mad at the New York Times, but this was a really good take, an interesting op-ed on the Supreme Court and what's going on. And you should read it because it's informational. And, I'm all for staying the fuck out of people's personal medical business. That's what I'm for. Okay? That's what I am for. Privacy. So, and stop picking on trans people. Stop it. It's ridiculous. So anyway, that's that. I also, let me tell you my dates. Because this Wednesday, tomorrow, the 11th, I'm going to be in Stamford, Connecticut at New York Comedy Club. I have I think it's a 7:00 show. It's a 7:00 show, and I'm very excited about it. So get your ass there. I'm going to be performing in New York City this weekend. I don't have my spots yet. And I'm doing New York Comedy Club on the Upper West Side, which is on 78th Street. A very Judy Christmas, Jewdy, and Liz Glazer will be there, and maybe some other people. But I like to take all the stage time for myself. Anyway, so those are my upcoming dates. I don't have a lot of dates because I'm writing and I'm doing other projects, but I do my podcast, baby. Anyway, so that's that. I also wanted to, so today, Elisa and I went to Paragon Sports, which is down like on 18th, right by, what the fuck is it called? Union Square. And we bought her a jacket because I went there the other day and I got a Save the Duck jacket, which is fucking great. It's called Save the Duck. They're not paying me, but it's made with no animals and no duck feathers. And I'm addicted to duck feathers. I love my feather pillow. I love all that. They're old, but they're fantastic. And Elisa's allergic. And so anyway, I bought this Save the Duck because I really liked it. And I liked the company. And it's so fucking warm. It's so great. Just look it up, Save the Duck. And I called it Save the Fuck, and the people in the store were laughing. Anyway, Lisa got the girl version, and I got the guy version because, as you know, I'm the guy. So that was fun. And we're at Paragon, and I see this gentleman, and I said, oh my God, that looks like Erwin Redlener, who I remembered from during the pandemic. He was always on MSNBC giving updates about the pandemic. And I said, "Are you the doctor?" And he said, "Yes." And we started talking. And I said, "Thank you. You know, you were so helpful during the pandemic." And he's like, "You're welcome." And then we just started talking about the shit show of this upcoming administration as far as healthcare is concerned and vaccines. And he said he's really, really worried about bird flu. And that it's a total, I mean, he didn't say this, but it's a shit show and it's not good what's going to be happening. And I have to say, Elisa and I watched this morning on Meet the Press, what's her name? Kristen Welker interview Orange Fuckface. And I mean, we were just laughing. First of all, he doesn't answer a question. She asks him about abortion. He goes on about Joe Biden. He doesn't answer a question. And everything is, "Oh yeah, no, I love tariffs. I love the word. I love it. I'm in love with tariffs." Like, who the fuck talks like that? "I'm in love with tariffs." And everything is like, people have never seen anything like it. No one's ever seen anything like this fucking shit show going on and on and on. Yeah, I'm sure we haven't seen the likes of what the fuck is going to happen. And as I said on Stephanie Ruhle, who I fucking love, Stephanie Ruhle. She rules, I'm telling you. Max Rose was on. He's so great. I did the 11th hour on Friday and it was so much fun. But I have to say, now I forgot what I was going to say. I totally forgot what I was going to say because I said Max Rose and then I go, "Oh, I didn't this is what went on in my brain. I didn't mention any of the other people that were on. I'm an asshole." So I'm going to look it up. I can't look it up right now. The head writer, he was the executive producer of they were great. What's his name? Fuck! I swear to God, I'm losing my mind. I am losing my mind. Oh, by the way, I get in the car to go to 30 Rock so I could be there at 5:30 to put makeup on. I can't even tell you how long it took me to get there. The fucking roads were closed for tourists to walk and look at the Christmas tree and walk around and look up and stop. Like, these people, they don't fucking move. It is so frustrating being a New Yorker during this period of time. During the holidays, because people, they're just looking up and you'll be walking and then someone will just stop, like just dead stop. Like, everyone's looking at their fucking phone or taking pictures. I can't fucking I'm losing my mind. Steve Bodow, who was the executive producer of The Daily Show, David Rode, who was Pulitzer winner. I mean, he was brilliant. And Max Rose. Steve is also Jewish. Anyway. So we were talking about, the shit show that is this cabinet and how I really don't understand how, like, no one is qualified for their job. Like, wouldn't you be like a little nervous if someone called you and said, "Listen, can you be the head of this department?" and you have no fucking experience? Like, wouldn't you just say no? And then Stephanie was like, "Well, he's the president. The president calls you and says, 'I want you to do this.'" And I'm like, "No, I wouldn't do it. It's too much anxiety." Like, these people are not qualified. I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous. And so anyway, I watched this Kristen Welker thing. And I said to, when I was on the panel, I said something about, the media treated him like a regular candidate. And Stephanie didn't like that. But I wasn't talking about Stephanie. I was talking about, CNN. The way they covered him as if his lies... I mean, Stephanie called him out on his lies, and so does Nicole Wallace. I mean, there are people who call him out on his lies, but then there are those who just let him say whatever the fuck he wants, which he can, because we have the First Amendment. But I don't know. It's really, we're in for it. We're in for it. And you all, a lot of people voted for him, and a lot of the Jews were like, "Oh, he's so great. He sucks. He sucks and is a horrible person." I'm excited for Syria to, Assad was a fucking, what did Elisa call him? I can't think of the word. It begins with a D and it's not dictator. But he's a murderer, just a disgusting, and his wife disgusting. Get them the fuck out. But, a lot of stuff is going on in the world. And I think that this whole Syrian thing shows that people don't want to be in these, governed by, I can't say the word dictator. I mean, he is a dictator, but he's more than that. He's I don't know, but it's not good for Hezbollah. It's not good for Hamas. And Israeli troops went to Syria. They're there since they hadn't been there since 1973. So good luck to the people of Syria. It's just fucking crazy what's going on in the world. What else did I want to tell you before you listen to my fabulous conversation with Jen Kober? I don't know. I can't remember anything anymore. I don't know what's gotten into me. Does anyone else feel like this? That, you're losing... sometimes I'm just like, I get nervous, oh my God, I'm losing my memory. And then it'll pop into my head what I was thinking, but it's still not good. I don't like it. Do I have to take Prevagen? Guess I have to take Prevagen and stop eating gummies. The gummies help me sleep, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. I went and I didn't buy I know I complained last week about, the pressure of buying shit for Cyber Monday and Black Friday and I didn't buy a lot of shit. And then today I need a new stove range, and a microwave. And I went in and I said, oh, when are you good? I went to PC Richard and Son. And I said, when are you going to have a sale on TVs? And he's like, oh, well, they've already gone up since Black Friday. I was like, fuck! And he said not till March. So whatever. I don't need a TV right now, but I kind of want a new one. I want new everything. All right. Listen, I have a great interview coming up. And also thank you again for everyone who stops me and tells me they love the podcast. It really, really makes me feel fantastic. So I appreciate you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy part 1 of my interview with Jen Kober. All right, here we are. Ladies, gentlemen, they, thems. Welcome to It's Judy's Show with Judy Gold. I'm your host, Judy Gold, and we have someone who I find hilarious. Now, we know that consists of very few people. But we have a real talent on the show today. She also shares some qualities with me, although she is much butcher than I am. She is a member of our lesbian, what should we call it? We should call it the, because since we're trying to recruitment program.
Lesbian Nation.
The Lesbian Nation. She's also a Jew.
Yes.
She's female. She's got a girlfriend she loves. Are you your wife that you love, right? Are you married?
Yes.
Anyway, Jen Kober is here, ladies and gentlemen. New special out. It's called, wait, don't fucking say what it is. No Flies on Me.
Yes.
Cirque du Soleil. A lot of shit. Jen, first of all, we were supposed to do this right before the election. I said, no, I'm not going to talk to Jen Kober. This is the Jew bell, by the way. I'm not going to talk to Jen Kober when we're going to, if, something happens, we're both going to be, you can't have a fucking conversation without addressing the fact that, you're a baby, so you're very young, but for me, I lived through the AIDS crisis. I mean, you're what, 11 years younger than me. You're born in, well, 10 really. You're born in 1973. So you were a little girl during the AIDS crisis, but you still were around for a bunch of it.
For sure.
And you know what our community has fucking gone through, and the fight and the fight and the fighting and the fighting just for dignity, just to be treated,
Yeah.
just to have a family that is protected by the government like everyone else's fucking family. We'll just get this out of the way right now. The fact that, okay, you want change, everyone's change, and, the fact that no one has a memory of the chaos and shit we lived through with that fucking asshole, and now
I
we're gonna have to
know.
fight, and the Supreme Court and Project 2025 and women. Just give me your feeling.
I literally have been trying to figure out how to go somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like I mentally every day when that moron was in power, I would turn on the news at 7 in the morning and just power through and just I stayed amped up for 4 years. And on January 20th, I turned the news off and I never turned it on again. And that's probably what the problem is. But I've been trying, I've literally been booking myself in other countries. Like I just don't want to be here for all this. It's going to keep me, I can't stay like that. Like just for my own mental health. I can't.
I was on Sandy Bernhardt's show last week, and we were talking about it. I was like, I'm not taking the bait. I'm not doing it, because for 4 years I lived in this state of outrage and hate. Like I never knew
Yeah.
I could hate someone this much, and I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
If this is
Yeah.
what you people want, we'll have fun with that. I will read the news. There's certain people I love, like Stephanie Rule, like I'll watch her, but I'm done.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
And I want to go over, I want to do gigs in other countries, but part of me's really afraid, and I don't know how to do it. Like, how do you get booked, and is it fun?
I've gotten booked on a lot of gay travel trips to Europe.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that with the gays. So I feel like
Yeah.
that is protected and easy and fun. And then I just asked every comedian I've ever known who played a show in another country, how did you do it? Give me some contact information, give me a booker. Like, and I've just sort of been scrappily, acquiring all these phone numbers and emails of bookers and trying to string together. I don't even care if I make money. I really don't. I
Right,
can't be
because
here. I
yeah.
can't be here.
Do you, when you perform overseas, and then we'll get to other shit, I'm just really curious about it. Is it expats? Like, and how do they feel? Because one of the things with this administration is our First Amendment, which I feel is attacked from the far right and the far left, but they don't have First Amendment rights in a lot of these countries, or they don't have them laid out
Well,
as well.
I'm going to Europe. I'm
Right.
not going to, I'm not trying to go to
You're not going to
Singapore
North
and
Korea,
chew
really? Okay.
gum.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so I feel like I'm going to pretty, and I'm going to English speaking
Yes.
places, right? I don't speak
Do they
anything
get
else.
it?
I could,
Yeah.
they do. And I think that I'm very Southern on stage. I have a very heavy Southern accent when I'm on stage. And I think that Europeans love that. It's like the way we love to listen to British people. They
Right.
love to
Yeah.
listen to Hicks. So my little Hick accent kind of buys me
Love.
some charm with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And, they're not going to like my New Jersey accent, I'll tell you that much. This week's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now, I am a huge advocate for therapy. I talk therapy. I like physical therapy too, but I'm talking about talk therapy. I've been in therapy since I'm 18 years old. There is nothing better. Nothing better. And it is a stressful time. We just had an election, it's the holidays, and we're going to have to spend family time or not spend family time. It's a decision you might make in therapy, because therapy is really the best way, the only way to process your feelings, anxiety, depression, everything. I've been doing it for over 40 years. I know what I'm talking about. So if you've been thinking about starting therapy, if you thought about it for years and just didn't do it, please give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It's suited to your schedule. You go to betterhelp.com/JudyGold. You fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch your therapist at any time for no additional charge. I've done that multiple times in my life, switch therapists. It works. It works. And I know a lot of people who have used BetterHelp and they love it. So find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/JudyGold today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome. Jen, what a life. What a life. It's very interesting. You've done a bunch of interviews. I like to go deep. You're born in 1973.
Yes.
You were born somewhere and then moved somewhere, but I wrote this all down and then my printer didn't work. And so you have to bear fucking with me. My printer won't work. It's the fucking drum. I want to fucking throw it out the window. Anyway, sorry. You're from Lake Charles, Louisiana, but that is not where you were born. You were born in New Orleans? Was that, or?
Yes. I was born in New Orleans while my dad was a resident. He was in medical school, and then we moved to Lake Charles when he went into private practice.
So your dad was a heart surgeon, is that correct? Or no,
He
you made that up
is,
for your Girl
yes.
Scouts. Oh, yes. Okay.
No, I
And he is a heart surgeon and he's Jewish, right? Is your mother Jewish?
Yes. My mother converted when they got married, so sort of. We always had a
No,
Christmas
yes, we
tree.
love converts. No. It's
Okay.
not,
Okay.
people don't understand that it's not easy to convert to Judaism. You can't just, I'm just doing the bell because I don't want to do it 100 times, but you can't just become I like being Jewish. It's a whole fucking process. So we love converts, but
Yes.
her parenting style, as I learned through interviews and stories you've told, not Jewish mother at all. Not Jewish.
Not at all. No. When I was telling the story to my lawyer went, "These are Jews doing this to you?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, she's a convert." So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
get it.
A convert. She's a convert.
Yes, don't let her hear you say that.
Okay, sorry, I'm kidding. I don't even know you, Stephanie, quote unquote. So do you have any siblings? By the way, I couldn't find that anywhere.
I do. I have a little brother and a little sister.
Oh, you're the eldest.
I am. I am the oldest and the gayest and the smartest and the most talented.
Yes. I'm the youngest and I'm the gayest and then not the smartest, but the most talented. So you grew up and you moved to Lake Charles, and you were sent to Reformed Jewish camp,
Yes.
an Episcopalian school, then a Catholic school. You went to an all-girls school in Memphis,
Yes.
and that's where you learned your love of the arts. But what the fuck was with going to all of these Gaisha schools?
Well, you have to understand the public schools in Louisiana were not good. It's public
Right.
schools in Louisiana. And so my mother wanted to send me to private school. Well, private school in Louisiana is all Catholic. And so there was one Episcopal school, but it ended at sixth
Really?
grade.
There's no Jewy?
No, zero, zero. We didn't even have a rabbi in Lake Charles. We had like a traveling rabbi who like showed up every other high holy day year. Like it was not it
Wow.
was awful. It was not, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
did you grow up with any Jewishness in the home?
Yeah, I had a bat mitzvah. We did
No.
all the Jewish, yes, yes.
Where did you go to Hebrew school and stuff?
In Lake Charles. My mother hired a rabbi from
No
Southeast
way.
Texas to come in and, yeah, and do all of this.
That's
So it
cray
was,
cray. Okay, so did you have any Jewish friends in school? Were you the only Jew?
there was one other Jewish family in our school, and they had a daughter who was between me and my sister. Wendy Parsons was her name, and we hung out with them
Mm,
quite a lot.
really?
And there were a couple of other Jewish families in town that had kids, but I mean, there were probably 10 of us, all said and told.
Wow. And were you in a little community together? Like, what did you celebrate the holidays? Like, what'd you do for Passover and stuff? I'm just doing this because
Yeah, well,
asking.
here's an interesting fun fact. Tony Kushner, who wrote Angels in America and the
Yes, who
movie
I
about
know.
Lincoln,
Yes,
and
yes.
he is from the same town I am. He's from Lake Charles,
No
Louisiana.
way.
Yes, his mother and father, uh, his father was the conductor of the Lake Charles Symphony, Bill Kushner, and
Wow.
his mother, Sylvia Kushner, was like the nicest lady at the temple. And so they would have us over every year. So I spent Passover at Tony Kushner's parents' house for
No
probably
way.
6 or 7 years when I was a kid.
What
Yeah,
was He was
before his
much
mom
older
passed
than
away.
you.
He is a little older than me. Yeah. But he wasn't there.
Oh, he was
I think he
gone.
was there maybe once. Maybe one
Right.
one year he was there, cuz I remember thinking that their son was depressed. As a little kid, like I was like, "Oh,
That's
that
hilarious.
guy is really depressed."
Well, there you
That I
go.
didn't know anything else. So
So you would go to school and then you would act out scenes from the school play that never was, that you lied to your mother and you would just do these scenes?
yeah, I would tell when my grandmother would come to visit, I was trying to get my grandmother to stay longer. And so I would say, "You got to stay till the end of the month.
Whose
I'm in a
mother? Whose
play."
mother?
This was my mom's mother.
Oh,
And so I would
okay.
say,
Not
like,
Jewish.
it's because she didn't come very often. And so I would say, "Well, I'm in this play," and I
Right.
would come home and I would act out the whole play and play all the parts and convince them I was in this play. And then my mother went to school and was like, "Oh, when is the play? My mom's going to stay longer to see Jennifer in the play." And the teacher was like, "We're not doing
Right.
that play." I've been a liar for a long time.
Ah! And you didn't feel guilty? Like, I could never lie because I felt so fucking guilty.
That was the one Jewish trait I did not get. I got no sense of guilt.
That's crazy. So in fourth grade, you have to move. So that's 9 years old. I think that's a little traumatic, no?
It was because in Memphis, where my dad was doing his residency, there was a huge Jewish community. We belonged to a big temple,
Right.
and we were in Sunday school every Sunday, and
Right.
we were in services every Friday night. And uh, I got my first kiss from a girl at an Oneg Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a
Oh
good
my
happy
God.
time.
That is the yeah.
So it just, when we moved to Lake Charles, and there was just none of that. And I got told by a little girl at school that I was the devil and I was going to grow horns. And I'd never heard any of this. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know there were people that didn't like Jews. And then we moved to this place where they've never seen a Jew before, and they're literally like telling me these terrible things, and I was going to grow horns, and I wasn't going to heaven, and I killed Jesus, and I was like, whoa, 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 what is going
What
on,
the yeah. Time out, people.
Yeah, I just had no reference for that. I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know you could hate somebody because they were Jewish. And then you find that out and you're
Right.
like,
Well, now
oh,
we sure do.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's very apparent now. But,
Yeah. Now it's worse than ever before.
well, and it's only going to keep getting worse.
And worse. It's so bad. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
Jen, do you feel it? I feel it on stage. I never felt it before, but I'm like way Jewy on stage.
I was going to say, I think you present more Jewish than I do. I don't think people know unless they know something about me. I say it on stage, though, now, because I think it's important to say. And
thank you.
And because my little nieces, my brother married a Catholic girl. And so one of them is very, very Jewish, and the other one is just not. She's very shiksa. And so I talk to them differently, and one of them really gets it, and the other one really doesn't. And so I talk about that in my act.
Right.
But I think it surprised a lot of people that didn't know me to find that out. But I think it's important to say. I think it's important to have visibility. I think it's important to normalize being Jewish.
Yeah. You had fans that had no idea you were Jewish. It's like when I came out on stage in 96, I had all these fans who were like, well, it was 1996 too, but who were like, what? But it wasn't a time where people came out on stage. So
I was going to say, it just wasn't happening. Yeah.
But I feel like now, even a benign Jewish joke, I feel the audience, there's some resistance. And I'm like, this was funny on October 6th. So cut the fucking shit. Not, I'm still the same person. You are a different person.
Yeah.
It's really upsetting. Okay, so you, and this makes a lot of sense. So your relationship with your mother. Did you know it was fraught as a young girl? Is that why you wanted your grandmother there? I mean, was it always problematic?
My mother has always been my mother. Like, she is who she is, who she is.
Right.
I used to watch Roseanne all the time when I was a kid because I thought that's what my mother would be like if she were nice.
Right.
If people thought she was fun. And people do. If you met my mother, Judy, you would love her. You would be like, oh my God, how can this be the person you're talking about? She's not.
Oh, please. She's not the way she is with you, with other people. I totally get that.
Right.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
You get into not only the arts, you did ballet, which is hilarious to me. I can't imagine my feet or anything doing. You played violin but you really loved acting, but you became a competitive speech. You were in the speech and debate club.
Yeah.
And you were very competitive and also won a national tournament 3 years in a row. Is that right?
I did. I won 3 national titles. I did.
You know what? That's the Jew part of you. What
Yes,
was
it
it
is.
like? Yeah. What was it like being in I can't imagine. And you must watch debates now and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, orange fuckface. What is that? What is that?
Uh, he made me laugh so hard I almost spit out my cat. Uh, I think the I did the humorous interpretation part of speech, so you would
Right.
memorize a part of a play and play out all the characters, and I did a lot of voices and the like,
Right.
and it was funny. It really, and you traveled around to do it, so it really prepared me for stand up in that I was constantly traveling around to do what I wanted to be doing. Um, and at the national level, I got to go to some really cool places. I got to be in some really big cities and compete against the other kids that were the best where they were. And so, I'm very, very competitive, and I've I've always had really good timing. And so I think that people were just amazed to see someone my age doing what I was doing so well. And so I was doing
Right.
stand up at the same time. I started doing stand up when I was 16.
You stand up when you were 16. Yeah.
Yeah. So it all started to kind of feed into each other.
Tell me about that. You're 16. Your friends sign you up. Is that right? To do an open mic in New
I feel like
Orleans?
you had a detective follow me or something.
And you had no idea.
Yes, this is correct. I didn't know that.
I told you I do all my research. Yeah. Yeah.
They did not tell me they had signed me up. And so I'm in the back drinking. I mean, we were 16 years old. We were at the bar to drink. And
Right.
I very quickly found out that alcohol was not my drug of choice. But I was in the back drinking grape puckers because it tasted like Dimetapp.
Ugh.
I know. Such a sweet tooth.
Gross.
I was drinking that and, of course, getting louder and laughing and being, more and more sort of, a loudmouth. And then they called my name to
Boisterous
go up
and-
on
yeah.
stage. Yeah.
And you had no idea.
No, I had no idea. And I didn't have anything prepared. It wasn't like I thought I was going to do stand up or whatever.
Right.
And so my friend screams, "Tell the story you just told us." And it was a story about being able to hear my parents having sex through the air conditioning vents in our home. And I told the story and it got big laughs and I was absolutely hooked. I was like, this is the greatest thing that's
Hooked.
ever happened.
That's exactly how I felt like I was having an out of body experience. And I got that first laugh, and that was it. It was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yes.
You graduate high school. Oh, you were in the forensic. I have two other things from before you graduate high school. You were in the forensics club.
Yeah. The National Forensic League was what it was called.
And what did you do?
That was the name of the league for all the speaking events that I did.
Oh, I thought you were doing like opening up cold cases.
God, I wish.
Yeah.
Wish.
What's his name? Yeah, that would have been fun. They should do that. They should have
I know.
high school. That should be a club.
I agree.
And then they could solve all these. Okay. So you then go to an acting conservatory in Chicago.
I did.
What was it? What was the name
I went
of
to
it?
the theater school at DePaul.
Nice.
Yes.
Were your parents like, why are you going to theater school? I'm a doctor.
No, they realized I only had like one set of skills. I wasn't good at math. I didn't give two shits about science. I read a lot of books. I could write a great paper. And then I could talk. And once they realized that that's really what I wanted to do, they were fine.
So, you leave the conservatory and go back to after you got robbed. Is that right? And pistol whipped on your porch in Chicago.
Yes. Yes. I came home and there was a black guy looking in the windows of my apartment, and I thought it was my roommate's friend. So I was like, "Hey man, are you trying to get in there to see Amy?" And he turns around and he has a gun in his hand, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what?" and he cracked me across the face, and he took my bag, and he took the key to my car, and robbed me. Yeah, so I had like my tooth got chipped, and my lip was bleeding, and I was
horrible.
crying, and I was just like, and he didn't steal my car. He just took the stuff out of my car and threw the key inside the
that
car
was nice.
and ran off. Yeah. So he didn't take my car, and so I packed my car up and I left. I was done.
Bye-bye. You won this contest. You're very into contests, I noticed, for NPR, where you told this story, which is fucking hilarious.
Thanks.
About the Girl Scout cookies.
Yes.
It is such a perfectly put together story, and it's so engaging. And I just wanted to say, before we talk about which is the best Girl Scout cookie, and I don't want to hear from you, that I was in I used to do a bit about, I was in the marching band. This was years ago, like 35 years ago. I used to do this bit 40 years ago. And we had to sell candy bars for to raise money for our band trip. And I ate all the candy bars. And then when it was time to hand the money in, I had to ask my mother, and at this time in 1970, whatever, it was a lot of money, but I had to ask her for $50.
Wow.
And she was like, what the fuck? Yeah, she didn't curse, but she was like, and I was listening to this story, and I remembered the desire to eat. I couldn't wait to get to school because, I'd have breakfast or not have breakfast, and then I would have a candy bar in the morning, and then a candy bar at lunch, and then and I couldn't stop. And you tell this story about, storing all the candy bar, all the cookies in your air-conditioned garage for the entire troop.
Yeah.
And when it's the time to hand out the cookies to the troop to sell them, you ate them.
There, a lot of them were gone.
Yeah, and you opened them. You snuck in. It's such a brilliant story. Please, everyone, look this up on YouTube. It's so hilarious. But you sneak in the garage. You use your library card to open the boxes. You glue them back. It's brilliant. But you do talk about Lorna Doone. Did you ever find out if she was a person?
I did not.
Lorna?
I did not. I did no research on her.
No research. I'm going to look her up right now. Lorna Doone. Oh, it's Doone, by the way. What is the story of Lorna Doone? We're going to learn this together. It's a book that was published in 1869, and it's a tale set in the 1600s during the times of Charles II and James II. The hero, John Ridd, is a simple, albeit wise and honorable farmer who, as a young lad, meets Lorna Doone, of a dreaded outlaw but highborn family, and it's love at first sight. So that is the Lorna Doone story. I don't know why the fuck there is a cookie named after Lorna Doone, but they are shortbread cookies, which I enjoy.
So good.
I could do a Lorna Doone at night with my tea, but the fact that you think Samoa's, that's your favorite?
Oh, yes.
There is nothing that compares to a Thin Mint. I'm sorry. You could put all your peanut butter, your coconut, your fucking chocolate, Thin Mint in the freezer, by the way, which is how I eat it. Your story of how that came to be is fucking hilarious as well. But there's nothing. Tagalongs and Samoas do not even come close to Thin Mint.
I like a Thin Mint. Don't get me wrong. I do not enjoy Thin Mints. I because that Samoa is in the shape of a ring, and I could put them on it was also wearable cookies. So it just edges them out for that.
Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of my interview with Jen Kober. This podcast, It's Judy's Show with Judy Gold, is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling, and marketed by Haley Dercher. Please, I'm asking you to please subscribe and leave a review. Please, I'm going to look up the subscriptions for, I mean, it just helps because as I've told, well, I'm not even repeating it. But yeah, if you could subscribe and leave a 5-star review, that would be fantastic. I would really appreciate it. Also, Wednesday, Stamford, Connecticut, December 24th. Stamford, Connecticut, New York Comedy Club. December 24th, New York Comedy Club on the Upper West Side. Yeah, and I am going to be writing and doing work on a bunch of shit that I have wanted to get done. And also, I've been auditioning, and I this is the problem with auditioning. It's now all done on like, you don't go into a room and audition, and they don't get to see the person. They don't get to give you direction. They don't get to get your energy and see, oh, she can take direction. Oh my God, she looks, it's so awful. And so now, it used to be that a finite amount of people would audition. I mean, it's still a finite amount of people, but you would be selected from hundreds of people to go in and audition in person. And now, because it's all videotapes, they take hundreds and hundreds of submissions. So whatever setup, if you have a really good setup, it looks better. It's just, I just really hate auditioning now. And I used to love it. I mean, I didn't love it, but I loved it because I would prepare for it, and I would, you would get a feel. But you literally just fucking go on tape and send the fucking tape in. Or you can do it on Zoom, which I don't know. It's just, it sucks. So wish me luck on whatever auditions I get, because now I'm old and it's, it's a lot. So I love you all. Please come see me. Write to me. Let me know. If you have any ideas for guests you would love to hear, I have some really great guests coming up, and I would love to know what you would like, because I'm really trying to focus in on things that I find very interesting, especially with the downfall of our government and all these fucking assholes who are going to lead these departments. I can't. So yeah, I've been reading a lot and instead of watching the news, and I'm just trying to take care of myself. So you should do the same. Anyway, enjoy the next week or so. I know there's a lot of Christmas parties going on, holiday parties, which I find really annoying. And everyone's like, oh, you going to this party and that. Why do I want to go to a party with people I see all the time and I work with and just watch them get drunk? I just, I can't. I'm just getting, this was the other thing I wanted to tell you. We wanted to see Wicked today, but it's all sold out. Like, you try to get a ticket and it's sold out. So next week I will have my review of Wicked, which I'm sure is going to be great. But I really want to go on a day when there's not a lot of people in there, and I don't want to hear people fucking singing along. Because I went to see Burt Bacharach a few years ago, and there was someone next to me who was like, why do it was like, raindrops keep falling on my, and I was like, shut the fuck up. I didn't come here to listen to you sing my favorite songs of my childhood. So shut the fuck up. And I don't want to do that in the, I don't want to hear people singing in Wicked. But all right, that's it. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. And as we always say, so long.